From the studios of Foxboro Cable Access, located in the center of Foxboro, Massachusetts, you are watching Around Foxboro.
Welcome to Around Foxboro. My name is J Love. Today we have wonderful guests, and we're going to talk about new commuter rail service that just started on October 21st. And then we're very excited to have amazing guests who are really in charge of this project, and we're very excited to have on my left Brian Early, who is a vice president and general manager of Patriot Place.
Hi, Jory. Nice to meet you.
Nice to see
Thank you for having me.
And then our town manager, Bill Keegan. Thank you so much
Very
for being
nice
here,
to see
Bill.
you.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
see you.
Good to be
Yes.
here.
So we're gonna jump right onto it. So, but before that, I just want to know how long have you been knowing each other's and partnership, and then how did you meet each other's and stuff?
Well, we so Bill's been with the town as town manager for just about 6 years,
Sure.
and so I've met Bill as soon as he came on board, and we've worked closely together on a lot of initiatives. And it turns out he's known me actually longer because I did a presentation on Patriot Place when it first opened back in Dedham many years ago, and Bill happened to be there. But so he knew of me before he actually met me here in town.
Yeah, we joked about the fact that Brian was actually on crutches the first time I saw him. So, but he's since fully healed, which is great.
Great.
Yep.
Right. So, but we're working really closely together on a lot of different things when it comes to managing some of the public safety aspects of running Patriot Place, and we've worked with them on just helping with the overall getting the word out about Patriot Place and working with us with the marketing aspects of it. So we really have a really good working relationship. It goes back a good 6 years now.
And Bill's been a catalyst to helping us, further the development. Working very closely. He gets business development. He gets what Patriot Place means to this town and the region. So it's been a great partnership.
Wonderful. So we're going to jump right on to the commuter rail service that just started between Boston, South Station to Foxboro, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
So can you please give us an overview of what the new service is, including how many years it took?
Sure. Well, the new service is a weekday service of 10 trains each way from Boston, South Station, originating South Station, and either ending in Foxboro or starting in Foxboro and ending in South Station or Back Bay. But the project really has been in the making since the Stadium Act of 1999, when the stadium was approved by both the state and the town. And at that time, the need for rail service was already something that was necessary for future development. And over the years, I've been with the craft organization for 12 years, and right from when I started in 2007, there were a number of studies that started in 07, 08, 2013 with the Economic Development Committee for the town, to determining what future development needs were going to be in the town. And in order to satisfy those needs, daily commuter rail service is absolutely critical. It's become even more critical today. I mean, we're all experiencing the challenges of commuting into Boston, whether by car or even the train stations in the area. They're at capacity. A ride into Boston, you think about getting to a 9 a.m. meeting in Boston, it's a 2.5-hour thought to drive in. So we have been working with the state and the MBTA on developing this pilot, and finally on October 21st it happened, and I was very excited to have it here.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's wonderful. So tell us why this new service is so important to town of Foxboro and then the regions around us. Maybe Bill.
Well, so I think it's something that's been needed for quite some time. If you take a look at the service that goes into Mansfield and to Franklin and to Walpole around the area, all of those parking areas are all pretty much got capacity in terms of trying to get people to use the trains. A lot of people like to commute into Boston. This is the Mansfield station is the second busiest in the entire MBTA system, and their parking is really a capacity. And then I look at Sharon, which is another one of our neighboring communities that in their capacity every day. So this sort of made a lot of sense to us, that why shouldn't a town like Foxboro have commuter rail service when all the towns around us have it, but yet we don't. And yet we have a station, and we had a line that goes right through our community, and we had parking capacity that was available as well. So when I first arrived in Foxboro, it was like one of the first things we talked about when I talked with the ownership of this particular project. why haven't we really pursued this? And it wasn't like they haven't pursued it. It was just the fact that there really wasn't the group formed that they're trying to make this work as a team. And so we did form what was known really as a coalition of the businesses in the area. A lot of the chambers got on board, the chambers of commerce got on board, because they all saw it as an economic engine that really could help fuel this entire region, which is proven to be the case in many ways. And Brian's absolutely right that traffic going in and out of Boston is just way beyond the ability for people to deal with nowadays. So this is just an added method for getting people into Boston.
Yes, absolutely.
And as Bill said, this is in a partnership of the town and the state, and certainly the craft group and other businesses in the area, because we're all about trying to future development, and we just can't do it unless we have this resource. And the other piece is we have what has developed over a number of years. This project's been being worked on. Is the employment situation has changed quite a bit, and we have got a lot of jobs in this region that need to be filled, good jobs, and this is something that the Baker administration has been very much supportive of, is private and public partnerships to help spur economic development as well as employment. We had a wonderful meeting in the Fairmont area, in Dorchester area, which is part of the pilot program, about the reverse commuting and opportunities that are out here in the Foxboro region. There are a number of businesses up and down Route 1 that can be supported by employees being able to come out to Foxboro. And up until this project happened, that it was impossible for people to commute out into this area. And it's not just for stuff at Patriot Place. There's businesses up and down Route 1 and in downtown, Schneider Electric as comes to mind, that have real good jobs that need to be filled by folks who need to have the commuting solution.
So not only coming from this area, Foxboro to Boston, but coming from Boston to
Foxboro.
Yes, definitely.
And we've been pleasantly surprised since the pilot launched, the number of people who have been coming out and using the reverse commute solution.
That's
it
wonderful.
really is a second most and really most important aspect of this is drawing from that labor market in Boston that's trained and can help with the employment needs of this region. And we're trying to grow, but it's not having limited opportunities for employees to get to access those markets. The train system actually helps that considerably.
Sure.
There are 12 to 20 projects that could be tapped along the Route 1 corridor for development that require this service to make it viable.
Okay.
And we have projects right at Patriot Place and Gillette Stadium that we need this project to happen, or else we just can't go through with the development.
Sure. So my next question, you kind of touched about potential economic impacts of a new service, but you kind of touched base on it. But is there anything more that you can tell about the economy?
Yeah. Well, as I said, there are a number of projects that the Executive Office of Housing and Urban and Economic Development have earmarked in this region that without commuter rail service, we just can't move forward on. I mean, we have a major project that we can embark at Gillette Stadium and Patriot Place, that reverse commuting and the ability to bring qualified workers out of the city is critically important to. And we have the ability in this region to do things that is now becoming almost difficult for businesses downtown Boston, just because of rents and the cost of construction. We still have reasonable abilities for companies to come out into this area and set up, small, large, very large campuses, but without having the ability to bring millennials and the workforce that's required to run these businesses. We just can't do it. So this was a real part of the catalyst of having economic development behind this.
That's wonderful.
So Brian's absolutely right that the next generation of workforce are a generation that doesn't like to have cars, and they don't like to drive long distances in their vehicles. So using the train is a critical aspect of that, and they'd rather just roll out of bed in the morning and jump on a train and go somewhere. And that's what we're trying to cater to, is drawing that workforce out of Boston that we know is well trained, can do the kind of work that we'd like to promote for this region, and to help maintain the values in the community, and to bring quality employment-based jobs to the community overall.
Absolutely.
Anecdotally, I have two daughters, age 20, who live in downtown communities, and when I tell them about the opportunity to come out and work in Foxboro, their first thought, Dad, we don't have a car.
Right.
They don't, and unless you have public transportation, I can't get to those jobs. And those are what I think are highly valued employees, not just because they're my daughters, but they're highly educated and they're doing well, but they need to have the public transportation solution for their next career move. And I think this is an opportunity to do that in this region.
Yeah, and I've actually lived in Boston area. I never had a car, and then I never knew Foxboro when I was living in Boston. So it's really wonderful to have the station designated right straight to the Foxboro.
Right.
So that's amazing. So I know you had some really fun opening festivities, and we have a really wonderful video clip from October 21st. Can you tell us a little bit about the opening day and then what happened?
Yeah, the opening day was a beautiful day. It was the first train was 5:47 out of Foxboro, and we had Pat Patriot there. We had cheerleaders. We had a lot of media. We had a few riders for that first one.
Sure.
We had members of the Board of Selectmen from the town were there, and so it was an exciting first day, and we really enjoyed it. We had Dunkin' Donuts there. We had free coffee for everyone and different giveaways. But this has been a long time in coming, and I think the day was a celebration of the work that the town has put in. The town planner Paige Duncan was there. She's done a tremendous job supporting this program. So it was really just a way to celebrate the kickoff of something that has been long anticipated. And we had a lot of fun.
Yes,
and I think the person who had the most fun was Pat Patriot. He got to escort a lot of people to their train. And,
wonderful.
And some people were disappointed the next days that he wasn't there. They expected he was going to be there every day.
All the time, yeah.
Yes.
But we had a lot of fun.
Great. So we have a wonderful clip. So let's watch the clip right now.
Good morning and welcome to the first day of commuter rail service at Patriot Place, the Foxboro station at Gillette Stadium. We could not be happier to finally have this day arrive.
As our very first commuter, we wanted to give you 2 tickets to the Patriots-Bills game.
Okay, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for it. That's nice. There you go. I'm overwhelmed.
The opportunity now to provide commuter rail service to the communities around Foxboro to really help with people's the congestion and issues of getting into and out of Boston. So it's finally here, and we could not be happier.
Great start. It's very exciting. I live right here. I used to go to Norfolk. This is a great step closer.
I think this is going to mean great things for our residents and for our commuters and our economic development, so we're excited to see what's to come. Thank you very much.
It's been a great day. We are ready to go commuting from Patriot Place every day.
So that was really wonderful. It's really summarized, wonderful video. And I saw Leah give some video and then different giveaways, and that was very exciting.
Yes.
So next question that I have for you is, what are the goals of new commuter rail service?
Well, the goals are, we've talked a little bit about the fact that, economic development is to spur economic development. I think the short-term goals, obviously, is to grow the ridership. And, as Bill mentioned, the capacity issues at the neighboring stations is a real problem. And we have the opportunity, we have 500 parking spaces easily accessed. A beautiful station that we've done a lot of work on. It's really it's a nice station. A lot of upgrades we've made. So it's a really safe and enjoyable place to commute from. And of course, the safety is the 24-hour security that we have around the stadium in Patriot Place. We have all the amenities at Patriot Place. So there's really no reason for anyone not to consider using this service, especially if they've been shut out. There are people that have to get up an hour earlier just to get to a station in Mansfield or to Walpole because parking doesn't exist. And if they miss it, they have to try to rush to another station. They're rushing to Sharon, or they're rushing to Norfolk or to Norwood. We've got a solution for that. So really helping with the capacity issues of neighboring stations. I think there's also the opportunity to bring cars off the road. There's a green initiative here. One of the goals of the MBTA obviously is to cut emissions, and that's by getting cars off of the road. And again, there's a large number of Foxborough residents who are still driving into Boston, and we're trying to create a ultra convenient way for them to give up that car and to take public transportation if we make it convenient. And I think we can't get any more convenient than where it's located.
Sure.
So those are the goals, and
Right.
and the long-term goal is obviously is to support future development, and that's the long-term goal, not only in the tax base for the town, but also for growing this region and taking what's already been so positive and moving it that much further ahead.
Yes.
So just to emphasize what Brian says, is it's really important that people do use the train. I mean, now that it's here, this is a pilot program, so the more we can demonstrate to the state and to everyone that's associated with this program that it's really needed, that's the key. And so that's why it's starting up at a great pace. I think and the more people know about it, the more people use it, the more success stories that build upon that.
Absolutely.
So we want to try and continuously put that out there for folks to remind them that this is an option now that you didn't have before. And I think it's really important that they utilize that and to build upon the capacity that has been missing from this year, for the years in this area in terms of parking capacity. This is another 500 spaces that wasn't there before that can certainly let a lot of pressure off some of those areas around us.
Yes.
So I think this is a critical time to really get people out there and start utilizing the service.
Sure. And I think it's important to underscore the fact that this is a pilot program. So we're testing the success of this program, and I think whether it's folks from Foxborough immediately or those surrounding towns that have been asking for this service, now it's time to sort of support that service, because if we expect the pilot to be successful. The MBTA is already telling us the numbers are very successful so far, but much like the organization that I work for, we don't take anything for granted. So we want to make sure that this is successful because we've worked for 20 years to bring it. And those folks who care so much about this town, and being the fact I've been working in this town for 12 years, I really understand the culture, I think, of how much people love this town. They also want to have the town be successful going forward, and this is a very big part of it. So we're really looking for support from the town for this program.
Right.
Sure. And then have you gotten any feedbacks from the Foxborough residents about the service? Did you hear anything about?
So far, it's been nothing but positive
Okay.
from everyone I've talked to about it, and I think that it's a new service that certainly once more people get the word that it's there and that they have their own success stories about using it, that will continue to grow as it's been growing already. But I really do think that we've heard nothing but positive comments so far.
Yeah, and what we've heard from the MBTA is, as I said, the numbers so far have been very, very successful, and they're growing each day. We're looking for that first snow weather to really, to jumpstart things. But this is a pilot program, so there's some things we've got to figure out, and the MBTA is going to figure out over time. At about the 6 to 8 month, this is an 11-month pilot. At the 6 to 8 month mark, they're going to start looking at what's the long term is going to be and what the necessary structure of the schedule needs to be. We know the schedule is not perfect, but it's a good schedule. It's a much better schedule than we originally had planned for. But it's only going to get better if the pilot is successful and we have those metrics.
Numbers support it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great. And my next question is, what service can Foxborough Station provide that other nearby stations can't or don't? Say I've used Mansfield Station or Sharon before. What is the unique thing about the Foxborough Station?
Well, I think the fact that it is in the shadows of Gillette Stadium makes it as unique a station, not only here in the Commonwealth, but probably across the country. But Patriot Place is there with between movies and entertainment, 17 full-service restaurants, the shopping opportunity. I mean, if there's a reason that you have for doing something after you come home after a long day in Boston, we have it here, and I think that makes it very unique. And it's again, it's in the town of Foxborough. That in itself makes it unique.
Well, I think just to take off what Brian said is it's a destination on both sides. So you got a destination in Boston, you got a destination on this end by having Patriot Place and all the amenities of Patriot Place be right there.
Yeah.
So, so I think it's probably one of the most unique aspects of this station versus any of the others. If you go to those other ones, they may have a small coffee shop, but here we have multiple restaurants and opportunities for people to really enjoy themselves if they want to.
Absolutely. And I know you mentioned about the parking as big amenity, like 500 cars. So we have wonderful parking video. So let's take a look. So thank you for the video. That looks really great. Like, not only just showing the commuter rail itself, but the parking, like really wide spot, and then it feels really safe with the 24-hour security.
It is. We have cameras out there. We have call boxes. With a lot of things that don't exist at stations elsewhere. And of course, our 24-hour security is always there. So when I think about it, talking about my daughters or my wife, this is a station I feel comfortable sending them to. Knowing that they're, if they come back from Boston late at night, that's the place you want to be.
Yes, and then the fee is $4.
Yes, parking fee is $4.
Okay, and then how about the cost of one way and round trip?
So it's $875 each way, so $17.50 round trip. But we also have a reverse commuting option, and this again goes back to our desire for the reverse commute program, and that is a half price for $425, actually less than half price, for folks coming from downtown Boston out to Foxboro. So then that factors into your monthly pass, and so again we're incentivizing folks to come out to Foxboro. And actually, it's not just us; it's the T and the state are feeling that that's very important, and this is the only. It's the only station in line that is being discounted for reverse commuting right now. So it's a very important aspect of this.
Was that hard to negotiate with the MBTA?
Well, I don't think so. And Bill, you can speak to it too, because the economic development and the jobs opportunity for folks. Some of the folks along this line, we think about low unemployment, everyone has jobs, but it's not always the case. And with that low unemployment comes jobs that become hard to fill in this area. So this is really part of this program, and discounting the reverse commute was a big part of it.
So the MBTA has viewed this as a service that really is needed, and they saw the value of that throughout the process. And we actually met with the FMCB, which is the Financial Management Control Board in Boston, and at the end of that discussion, they saw the value of doing this. So it was actually, the process started from a very positive perspective from the beginning. Granted, there's a lot of details that go into a project like this, and I'm really grateful for the efforts of Paige Duncan to have really run point for this for the town, and several members of your staff, including Dan Krantz, have been really deeply involved in the details of this project. So they actually know that working with the MBTA was a positive experience, but there was certainly a lot of information that had to go back and forth to get this thing resolved. No question about that.
Yes,
and the infrastructure was already in place. This is almost a no-brainer when you think about it. The fact that we had the line into Boston, the old CSX line. So there was a lot less heavy lifting on the part of the state and the MBTA to get this done. And it was a little more bureaucratic than really construction work. but it really will make sense in the long run because the infrastructure was already there.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for the information. It's very interesting. And then I know you brought some schedule, and then we have this flyer as well. And then can you just tell us, like, what is it like
Sure.
daily schedule? And I know we don't have weekend service yet. But
We don't.
just
No,
weekend,
the pilot
weekday.
does not include weekend service, but
Yes.
so as I said, there are 10 trains, both inbound and outbound each day. There are 3 what we call the commuter train periods in the morning for inbound commuting. So probably the most popular one is the 7:29 train that goes out, and then the rest of the day, midday, there are trains coming, going in and coming back out, and then they have the reverse commuting and folks coming back late in the afternoon. And I think the last train leaves South Station around 10 o'clock, and we'll get to Foxboro just before 11. It's just under an hour for the round trip, and it's very easy. In fact, I did it on Friday. I had some meetings at the
You did?
MBTA
Great.
offices in Boston, and it was great. I mean, I would normally have to either go to Walpole or Mansfield
Sure.
or Sharon, and just to be able to leave my office and go right over to the
Just right
station
over,
was
yes.
fantastic.
How about you, Bill? Have you used the train yet?
I have not, but I was away last week, so I missed the actual the grand opening. So I was disappointed that happened. It was the timing I was away at a national conference. But I will say that I do plan to use it because we always have meetings in Boston. We're meeting with the State House or whatever, or meeting the governor's office. So we'll certainly you make good use of it. I'm really grateful for the fact that I don't have to drive to any other town but my own now.
Absolutely.
And to come here and do the service from here. So it's great to be able to have it.
Yeah, my son really wants to use the train, and he can't wait. So
Great.
anyway.
I can say though that the seniors have taken advantage of the train.
They
In
have.
fact, I had a really good meeting with them last week. I meet with them on a monthly basis, and I can tell you they were really excited about the arrival of the train. And they put their own group together to take a ride
Oh, really?
on the
Yeah.
train going both directions, and nobody got lost. That was a good thing about it. They had a good trip down back and forth, and they had a great time. They really enjoyed it. They thought it was very easy to use. And Mark Craig, who was our director of Human
Yes.
Services and Elder Services, he went with them. He sort of like served as a chaperone,
Oh,
and
wow.
and brought them down. And he said it was really a great day for everybody.
Yeah, we had 13 to 15 seniors
Right.
take the train, and they had a great day in Boston. They came back. So
Wow.
that's another subset of the who we want to serve with this.
Sure.
And, the seniors, their mobility is so important to us, and now they have a solution in Foxborough to get in and out of Boston safely. And that's important.
Absolutely. My son can't wait for the school vacation, and so he can take the train.
Take the train. There you go.
Yes. And
It's a lot
so
easier.
I know we kind of talked about future of this service earlier, but I really want to focus on what are the hopes for the future of this service.
Well, I think what the goal would be is that, as Brian alluded to this earlier, that it really is an economic development tool for all of us, in that having the service here touches so many different bases along the way. Whether it's getting people to live out this way, to go from here into Boston to work, or to commute out to work here and then go back into Boston. So either way, it works. So having that tool available to the region, I can tell you that there were 3 different chambers of commerce that supported this measure. There was Norfolk, there was the Neponset Valley, it was the Tri-Town, and it was the third one was the
United
yes,
Chamber.
thank you, United Chamber. That the 3 of them came and supported this project. So they are all actively involved in supporting it, and can see the real value of having that service, that train service there.
Wonderful.
So that's really that to me, I think, is probably the most important piece out of this whole thing, is the economic development piece that comes with this, and the convenience of living in Foxborough and having your own train station is something that certainly will add to the value of people's homes, because having the train in your community, I've seen it happen time and time again in the communities I've worked in, is that it actually adds to the value of the overall homes in the community, because you have the convenience of having that service local.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and again, just to reiterate that there are 24 development projects along Route 1 from Walpole to Plainville that are really require that we have a commuting solution in the area. And then within that, we are developing what we call last mile commuting solutions. That's using GATRA, and they've been great partners in this. And their new transloc system that is essentially on demand has been really important to getting people from the train to their destination in the region. And that could not have come at a better time, and it's a great program. If people haven't looked into that, and you go onto GATRA's website, you can find out about it. But then there's the opportunity to bring people out to Foxboro. We have world-class healthcare here. With the Brigham and Women's and Mass General Healthcare Center at Patriot Place, that just today, or in November 4th, expanded into their new building. So we have another 60,000 square feet of medical office that's opening in November. We're going to have another 35,000 square feet of cancer care with Dana-Farber that's going to open later in 2020 in this new building. So there's a lot of opportunity for folks who have already in this region are enjoying world-class health care and now going to be able to have a commuting access to it along the train. And again, and we're so spoiled that we've had this beautiful healthcare system in the Foxboro area for the last 10 years, and now it's expanding because it's so successful. The demand is incredible, but now we can share it with a much wider number of communities, and that's really important.
In talking with the folks at Brigham and Women's and Dana-Farber, those folks are really excited about the fact that the train is here now. So we, in no question, I think that was part of the thinking of them investing further into this area, was knowing that additional commuting option was going to be made available. So I think more and more projects are going to be turned around into this direction now because of that happening. So, but it's great to actually see it come to fruition, and having the new facility open at Patriot Place this past week was really another exciting thing for us to consider.
Oh.
Sure. So the website that people can visit is mbta.com/Foxboro and mbta.com/Foxboro, either way of the spelling.
Right.
So before I go into the last question, I have some personal questions. So
sure.
How about during the game, Patriots game or concert or the Revolution game, what are your expectations of people taking the train to the games?
Well, so the service for game day has existed for a long time. Actually, goes back to the old Foxboro Stadium. So that's not going to change on weekend event days.
Okay.
On weekday event days, we are planning and we have a very, very carefully thought out program for making sure commuters get in and out of the station each day, regardless if there's a concert, a weekday concert, or a weekday football game. There's going to be probably a point where they meet each other, and the crowd coming in and the crowd leaving, the train leaving. But if anyone has seen the way we manage traffic, we have a plan in place to make sure that folks can get in and out. But it's very important that this is a different program than the event day train that comes out from Boston, and of course there's a train that comes from Providence as well. But those will continue. But so we've had experience in bringing a number of people by commuter rail to Foxboro for a long time. But now it's daily commuter service, which is really special.
I see.
And I think was a byproduct, excuse me, a byproduct of the train coming was that the MBTA has made a major investment in the rail itself, the rail lines itself, so that people coming in for a special event train have noticed, I'm sure, that the train is moving a lot smoother than it did in the past. So, and those tracks have all been improved, and I think that the ride will be improved as well. So we are excited to see that investment being made, because it really was needed, and I think that ultimately that the overall service is going to be a great service for everybody. And I know that the folks at Patriot Place and the Craft Group have really managed that service well, and I expect to see that into the future as well.
And a lot of effort's been made to make sure the train safely crosses the different streets in the towns that it borders. There was concern in Walpole, and I can tell you firsthand, riding the train, the speed of which they go through is very sensitive to the areas that they're going through. So those concerns really have been dealt with very by the MBTA in terms of how they're managing the crossings in each of the towns, and they do a great job with it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for answering all of these questions. We're out of time, and I want to give both of you the last word to the audience. Okay. So maybe start with Brian.
Well, I think one of the main things is, as I said, that this is a pilot program. We need to make sure that everyone in the town of Foxborough is aware of it and can take advantage of it, because every rider that rides is part of the metrics to our success, and we just don't want to leave any chance that there's not success. And I don't believe there is going to be, but more importantly, it's a great feature for the town. As Bill said, it's a driver of not only economic development, but the value of homes. Every town that has a train station sees their home prices are significantly higher than those towns that don't. And this is, the town has been asking for it for almost 20 years. We've done all the hard work, and now it's time to support it. And that's all we're looking for is support.
Absolutely. How about Bill?
And secondarily, I think what's important here is that our partnership in making this happen and to me, is extraordinary in the sense that we couldn't do this, either one of us, on our own. I think we had to team up and make it work so that, and sort of draw upon the interest of the region to make this happen, because individually we're not as strong as we are collectively, and I think that was the key element of this whole process, was developing that relationship and seeing how that's going to actually develop into a much better economic development program for the entire area of Route 1. So that's sort of laid the groundwork and set the foundation, I think, for how we're going to continue to build and help the community overall in the future.
Wonderful. This was such a valuable program for our audience, and such an exciting learning experience for me and then for the audience, how this happened, and it's very excited to have our own station in Foxborough. Well, thank you very much for
Thank you, Jerry,
here.
so much.
Thanks, Jerry. Good to see you.
Thank you. So everyone around Foxborough, this is our episode, and we want to thank everyone for watching the episode, and we want to thank Michael Weber, who is our Executive Director at Foxborough Cable Access, and Director Paul Beck, and today we have Deb Wendell and Deb Stores on the camera, and my name is Julie Love. Thank you for watching, everyone.